Father, you said that you would not take it away. Gui's eyes widened in shock. My dear, since you treat this paper like a treasure, I want to see what she has written to you. Suddenly, Gusher paused and stared at the paper in his hand. He was dazed, dumbfounded, and shocked. What is this? If one took a quick glance at it, it was merely a prescription. However, there was food in it. Did Feng Ruching simply just write something for Gui? Father! Gui was nearly exploding with rage. Before Gusher regained his focus, she quickly grabbed the paper and held it close to her chest as if holding a treasure. You promised me that you would not take it away. You have broken the promise. Well, I just want to take a look. What is this? I don't get it, Gusher asked with a flush of embarrassment. Can't you read this? It is written very clearly on the paper. This is a prescription to condense spiritual qi. Gusher was rendered speechless. He was completely lost. Gui shot Gusher a warning gaze. She was afraid that Gusher would take her treasure away. Previously, I have lost weight after consuming the herbal dish from Paramount. The herbal dish prescriptions from Paramount belong to Shaoqing. As I have always been overweight since young, I could never cultivate like ordinary people. Hence, my cultivation is lagging far behind. Shaoqing has given me this prescription, so I can make a breakthrough faster. A fat person could never cultivate as there was too much fat in her body. Not to mention martial art, the fat would block the spiritual qi from entering the body. Hence, none of the warriors was overweight like Gui. Every cultivator strived to keep their bodies in shape. They might be slightly chubby, but never overweight as it would cripple their cultivation. Gusher held his breath and then breathed rapidly and shallowly. An herbal dish that could speed up the cultivation was many times better than the spirit herb itself. Me for extra chapters. Oh dear, I did not see it clearly. Can I take a look again? This time, Gui had walked away without looking back at Gusher, as if there was a bandit behind her. Only when Gui had left the main hall, she turned around and said, You can take the rest of the gifts. No one can take away Shaoqing's gift. Gusher dumbstruck by Gui's words. He could feel as if someone had taken her daughter away from him. He did not speak any further and merely heaved a sigh. However, when he thought of Feng Ruching, he knitted his brows together. Not only did Feng Ruching look stunning, she was really something. She was Gusher's type. Most importantly, Gui liked her. It was a pity that Feng Ruching was a lady. Ever since Tan Shuangshuang had stepped into the Mu family, she thought she would be the ugly duckling. However, Chun Qingyan was too vicious. Apparently, Tan Shuangshuang was no match for Chun Qingyan. Hence, Mu Ling had locked Tan Shuangshuang up although she was pregnant. Fortunately, the Mu family did not have many descendants. Hence, Mu Ling cared for Tan Shuangshuang's child and had released her after locking her up for a few days. He had even tasked a few servants to take care of her. Tan Shuangshuang's hard times were over. As of now, her life was a bed of roses. Moreover, the old master's birthday was around the corner. No matter what the old master's health condition was, the birthday celebration must go on as planned. Otherwise, rumors would arise among the people of the Tian Shan Manor. Currently, Chun Qingyan was busy preparing for the birthday celebration. She had no time for Tan Shuangshuang. Hence, simply no one could stop Tan Shuangshuang from bossing everyone in the backyard of the Mu family around. The only thing Tan Shuangshuang was dissatisfied with was that Mu Ling had never touched her since she had stepped into the Mu family. At this time, outside the Mu family's herb chamber, Tan Shuangshuang paused with the help of a servant. Her hand was stroking her pregnant belly. Her eyes were squinting at the guard in front of her. I was frightened a few days ago. The physician said that it might affect my baby. Hence, I am here to get some herbs. I am the young manor lady of the Mu family. Am I not allowed to do this? Tan Shuangshuang, too, had always been pretended to be gentle and kind to win one's heart. However, she was smart. Previously, she had done that in front of Lu Yuqin and his father. Currently, she only did that in front of Mu Ling. As the person before her was merely a guard, she did not even bother pretending and simply wielded her the power of her status. No one is allowed to enter the herb chamber without the young manor lattice command. The guard's face was as nonchalant as steel. As Sui was not staying in the Mu family at the moment, the The young manor lady of the Mu family was Chen Qingyan. It's Chen Qingyan again. She is just a concubine like me. Why could she command the people of the Mu family, while it is as if I am just taking shelter in the Mu family? Tan Shuang's eyes darkened. After Tan Shuang had given birth to Mu Ling's child, she would definitely step out of this charming middle-aged lattice shadow. As men easily get bored in relationships, Chen Qingyan had been staying with Mu Ling for so many years. Mu Ling must have treated Chen Qingyan as his kin and had gotten used to having her around. Hence, all Tan Shuang needed was time. She could be the master of the Mu family sooner or later. Tan Shuang had lost to Feng Ruqing back then. She would never lose to anyone else again. 1 inch I'm pregnant with the young manor master's child. If anything happened to his child, who should bear the consequences? Tan Shuang narrowed her eyes as she smiled, coldly. The guard frowned. Even if they held Tan Shuang in disdain, she was indeed pregnant with the Mu Ling's child. If anything were to happen to Mu Ling's child, he would definitely kill them. Me for extra chapters. Is there any prescription from the physician? The guard had asked, nonchalantly. These are the spirit's herbs that I need. Tan Shuang took out a paper and handed it over to the guard. The guard did not say anything. He merely took the paper and walked into the herb chamber. Here you are. After a while, the guard took out a box from the herb chamber and put it into Tan Shuang's hands, coldly. In a spasm of rapture, Tan Shuang stretched her arms to take over the box. Her heart pounded with excitement. They were grade 4 spirit herbs. An ordinary person could hardly obtain them in his whole lifetime. Feng Ruqing never would have thought that I could come so far after leaving Lu Yuqin. Haha. Tan Shuang let out a boisterous laugh. Tears streamed down her face. One Feng Ruqing, I have the Mu family behind my back. If I give birth to a son, I would be the master of the Mu family. By then, who do you think you are to compete with me? Although there were 2 young masters in the Mu family, Tan Shuang had only met the second young master, Mu Shi. The other one was like a taboo, and no one in the Mu family had ever spoken about him. Perhaps, Chen Qingyan had forbidden everyone in the Mu family from talking about the eldest young master. Hence, Tan Shuang did not know who the eldest young master was. Moreover, he had not returned for years. Perhaps, he had been disowned by the Mu family. Mu Shi was a good-for-nothing. Besides his stunning face, his strength, talent, and personality were not up to scratch. I am so brilliant. Naturally, my son will not be inferior. With the Mu family behind his back, who could outshine him? Tan Shuang took no notice of Mu Huan. No matter how brilliant Mu Huan was, she was still a lady. The Mu family had gained a strong foothold in this realm. Mu Huan could never helm the Mu family. Ultimately, Tan Shuang's son would be the manor master of the Mu family. Once seeing Tan Shuang beaming with pride, the servant behind her grew increasingly disdainful of her. What is the young manor master thinking? Not only is Lady Qingyan gentle and kind, she treats the servants so well. The young manor master has actually brought a lady back into the Mu family and broken Lady Qingyan's heart. This lady is so shameless to break up a couple. A loud noise sounded. Tan Shuang paused. She turned her head to look at a courtyard in bewilderment. Xiao Lu, who is there? Xiao Lu did not respond. A hint of disdain flashed in her eyes. The courtyard was remotely located, but not the slightest bit desolate. It was a beautiful courtyard full of peach trees. Tan Shuang had been staying in the Mu family for quite some time, but she had never been to that beautiful courtyard. She had never met anyone else besides Mu Ling and Chen Qingyan, the second young manor master. The old master has lost his temper not long ago and did not want to see Lady Qingyan. Hence, he has moved in there to stay with the second young manor master. Perhaps, the noise just now, the old master has lost his temper again. Mu Shi was the second young master of the Mu family. Hence, the second young manor master was Mu Qingyin, Mu Ling's younger brother who had had poor health since he was little and had never stepped out of the Mu family. Tan Shuang was not interested with Mu Qingyin. However, when she heard that the old master of the Mu family was staying in the courtyard, her eyes lit up. She knew that the old master disliked Chen Qingyan. If she could keep in with the old master, she might be able to gain a foothold in the Mu family. Me for extra chapters. Hints. Tan Shuangshuang disregarded the servant behind her and walked into the courtyard. It was March, thus. The peach trees were in full bloom. A young master could be seen sitting in a pavilion surrounded by peach blossoms. It was so serene and quiet, forming a striking contrast with the rowdy surroundings. Tan Shuangshuang could not help but stop in her steps. Although Mu Ling was stunningly handsome, he was aged. His head was covered with gray hair. Even his sideburns revealed his age. The young master before her was so young, noble, and stunning. Tan Shuangshuang thought that Mu Ling's younger brother, Mu Qingyin, was in his 40s. Tan Shuangshuang held her breath. Her hand grabbed tightly onto the corner of her robe. She did not take a step forward for fear of disturbing the young master. Of all the young masters Tan Shuangshuang had met, only State Preceptor Nanxian could outshine this young master's physical appearance. Even Lu Yuqin was no match for him. She could not even compare Lu Yuqin with him. The young master before her was so noble and lofty, like a white fluffy cloud. On the other hand, Lu Yuqin was like a mound of dirt, contaminated with earthly dust. The young master, too, noticed an uninvited guest, Tan Shuangshuang. His gaze shifted from the book and fell on Tan Shuangshuang coldly. He could tell who the lady was at first sight. It was the concubine that his elder brother had brought back to the Mu family. In fact, Mu Qingyin had seen Tan Shuangshuang since the very first day she stepped into the Mu family. He was reading a book at a corner and saw the whole incident of Qin Qingyin confronting Tan Shuangshuang. Brother-in-law. Seeing Mu Qingyin looking at her, Tan Shuangshuang staggered. Since this young master was Mu Ling's brother and Tan Shuangshuang was Mu Ling's concubine, it was natural that Tan Shuangshuang called him brother-in-law. Mu Qingyin frowned slightly. After a while, his frowning brows softened as he got up slowly. It seems that there is another Qin Qingyin in the Mu family. Excuse me? Are you comparing me with the vicious lady, Qin Qingyin? Who is she to be compared with me? You are just a concubine. Who do you think you are to call me your brother-in-law? A concubine is like a servant in the Mu family. There is only one young lady in the Mu family, but that is neither you nor Qin Qingyin. Mu Qingyin smirked. Mu Ling's taste was declining ever since Suyi had left the Mu family. The lady he had brought back was worse than the previous one. Mu Qingyin did not want to stay with Tan Shuangshuang any longer. He turned around and walked toward the place where the noise came from. Tan Shuangshuang clenched her fists tightly. She narrowed her eyes. Her gaze was fixed in the direction where Mu Qingyin had left. Not long after, her face quickly changed. A soft smile hung on her lips. In Lu Yun Kingdom, Lu Yuqin had fallen head over heels for Tan Shuangshuang. Lu Fuyong had gone against his wife because of her. Currently, even Mu Ling had become her husband. She would never believe that this good-for-nothing who had never touched a woman before could escape her clutches. Even if Tan Shuangshuang could not be together with this elegant and lofty young master for the rest of her life, she had experienced the sweet time with a man. She could never forget how aggressive Mu Ling was in bed. However, Mu Ling had never slept with her ever since she had stepped into the Mu family. She was longing for someone who could fill the emptiness in her heart. No doubt, Mu Qingyin was the best choice. Me for extra chapters. In the courtyard. Butler, don't stop me. I want to look for Suyi. He promised me that he would bring Suyi back. It's been a long while. Not only has Suyi not returned, but that vixen is also staying in the Mu family. Burning with anger, the old master slapped the butler across his face. The butler's heart was filled with sadness. Not only did the old master was disorientated, his strength was declining. How could the old master go out to look for Suyi? Although the courtyard was remotely located, it was a paradise on earth. Ever since the old master moved into the courtyard, his health had improved. He no longer got tired easily. Manor Master, Qin Qingyin is not in the Mu family recently. As your birthday is around the corner, she is getting a gift for you and has left the Mu family a few days ago. It had been a long time since the feast in the chief manor. Everyone knew that Mu Ling and Qin Qingyin were kept out of the chief manor. Not long after that, Qin Qingyin had left the Tian Shan manor together with Mu Huan to prepare the gift for the old master. In fact, Chun Xingyin could just get the servants to prepare the gift. However, Chen Xingyin was too sketchy and insisted on preparing it on her own to show filial devotion to the old master. Mu Ling was so touched by the things that Chen Xingyin had done that he wanted to give her the entire Mu family. It was true that when Chen Xingyin was not around, the old master had come back to his senses. However, his bad temper was getting worse. He insisted on moving into the remote courtyard and staying with the second young manor master. The butler told the old master a few times that Chen Xingyin was not at the Mu family, but the old master did not trust him and refused to stay in the same courtyard with Chen Xingyin. I don't trust you. That lady is so mean. Every time I see her, my head hurts. I feel better staying with Qingyin. My headache and drowsiness have departed ever since I have moved here. I don't want to go back there. The old master snorted. The butler furrowed his brows. He could feel something was wrong, but he could not tell what it was. Xiao Qingyin, it has been a while since I have met you. You have grown up so fast. I still remember that you were just a little kid before. You are so tall now. The old master saw Mu Qingyin and got up and moved toward him, hurriedly. He held onto Mu Qingyi's hand. His eyes lit up. Manor master, are you out of your head again? The butler was rendered speechless. Father, I am turning 30 in another half year. Mu Qingyin smiled, helplessly. How time flies. You are turning 30. What about your wife? Why don't you get married? Mu Ling is such a bastard. He has always been bullying Suyi. Xiao Qingyin, since you have a good temperament, I could ask Suyi to divorce Mu Ling and marry you. Hearing this, a flush of embarrassment rose to Mu Qingyin's face. Father, Suyi is not just my sister-in-law. She is like my elder sister. If she knows of this, it would be so awkward when I meet her. Both you and Mu Ling always had me worried. The old master was burning with anger and pushed Mu Qingyin away. You truly have no sense of gratitude. You are getting old, but are still not getting a wife. I would rather have a daughter like Suyi than having both of you as my sons. She is so considerate and cordial, but my sons would only make me angry. Me for extra chapters. Father, I am not in good health. I don't know how long I could keep up with this life. I don't want to trouble others. Mu Qingyin sighed. I don't care. I want a daughter-in-law. You could either marry Suyi, or get a wife who is as good as Suyi, gorgeous, kind-hearted, strict, and good at cooking. Father, if you don't bring me a daughter-in-law, I will starve myself to death. Mu Qingyin wanted to say something, but the butler stopped him. Second young manor master, the manor master is like a child now. When he throws a tantrum, he would listen to no one. You just have to listen to him. But I can't. Second young manor master, the manor master's health has declined. The physician said that he may not have much time left. If you don't want to get married, could you please persuade Lady Suyi to come back and meet the manor master even if she doesn't forgive young manor master Mu Ling? Every time the manor master loses his senses, he keeps murmuring about that turkey soup that Lady Suyi cooks. He had been doing this for more than 10 years. When would Lady Suyi bring young Master Nan Xian back to the Mu family? When Lady Suyi was here, she had been so gentle and patient with you. Could you please beg her to come back by begging? Perhaps she would relent and listen to you. The butler pretended to wipe off his tears as he sighed. Mu Qingyin did not say anything. When Suyi left the Mu family, he was still a teenager. As Mu Qingyin did not have a mother since he was little, Suyi took care of him and treated him so well, just as if she was his elder sister. Hence, when Suyi left, Mu Qingyin cried and held onto her leg to stop her from leaving together with Nan Xian. However, he was an adult now. How could he do this again? Otherwise, you could bring a wife back to the Mu family. As long as the old master is happy, he might recover. Forget it. I will persuade sister-in-law to visit father. Mu Qingyin was rendered speechless. No matter how Mu Ling treated Suyi, the Mu family was Suyi's home for the rest of her life. Even if she was no longer Mu Qingyin's sister-in-law, she was still his elder sister. She must return so Chen Qingyin could no longer boss everyone around in the Mu family. I will leave Tianshan Manor to look for sister-in-law. I would persuade her to come back, but it's her own choice. I can't force her. Mu Qingyin smiled, Riley. Mu Qingyin could not help but agree with the old master. The old master walked up to Mu Qingyin, grabbed his hand and put a snowy white jade into it. Startled, Mu Qingyin did not know why the old master had done this. Bring this treasure along with you. You could give it to Suyi or Nancian. However, you must not tell that bastard, Mu Ling, otherwise. He will take it away and give it to that vicious lady, the old master said, carefully. The people in the Mu family were too mean. Father. Mu Qingyin tightened his grip on the jade. Xiao Qingyin, the people in the Mu family are so vicious. I only trust you. I will always trust you. Could you just call me Qingyin and not Xiao Qingyin? I am turning 30, Mu Qingyin said, stunned. The old master disregarded Mu Qingyi's words. Xiao Qingyin, you must bring Sui back. If she refuses, you tell her that all the villains in the Mu family are bullying me. I don't have much time left. If she does not return, they would bully me to death. Father, do you want to frighten sister-in-law? Me for extra chapters. I don't care. If you don't do as I said, I will stop eating and drinking. The old master snorted as he stuck his nose up in the air. Second young manor master, it is true that the old master loses his senses. However, he knows very clearly that the young manor master Mu Ling wants young master Nancian to come back, as he wants young master Nancian to do something for him. Young master Nancian could never helm the Mu family. The butler subconsciously tugged at Mu Qingyi's hand. Hence, the old master gave the jade to Mu Qingyin in the hope that he could pass this jade to Sui and Nancian. Mu Qingyin held onto the jade tightly. He knew that the jade a pledge from the old master. As the Mu family was huge, there were too many people in the Mu family. Hence, the people in the Mu family would never believe in someone easily without a pledge. Just like the emperor would pass the throne to the heir together with a testamentary edict. Otherwise, no one would submit to the heir. Father, I understand. The old master might seem to have lost his senses, but he actually had a clear head. Mu Qingyin coughed. He could feel bloody sputum stuck in his throat. However, he did not spit it out, as he did not want the old master worried about him. Mu Qingyin did not say anything before he turned to walk out of the courtyard. Tan Shuangshuang was dumbstruck by Mu Qingyi's words. However, she quickly regained her focus. She had a new scheme now. She did not go and look for the old master. Instead, she wanted to get some new robes for herself. As the saying goes, clothes make the man. The Mu family had only provided Tan Shuangshuang with sackcloths and did not allow any tailor to make any robes for her. Hence, she could only get some new robes from the fabric store out there. She knew that she could never seduce Mu Qingyin with her current clothes. In the courtyard of the Qin family, Chainer, a voice spoke from behind him. Qin Shin paused but did not turn his head around. With his back facing the lady behind him, his face was extremely cold and nonchalant. Qin Feier closed her eyes gently. A smiling face of a young master flashed through her mind, as if countless swords were pierced into her heart. Her heart was dripping with blood. Her face was ghastly pale. Qin Feier thought that Qin Shun had always treated everyone coldly. However, he smiled so brightly at someone else. Chainer. Qin Feier opened her eyes and walked toward Qin Shun, slowly. You know it very well. Father is mad about the things that you have done the other day. You leave the Qin family very often, recently. I am the one who has coaxed him. I told him to treat you better, as you have gone through a lot of struggles. Qin Shun listened to Qin Feier quietly. His face was still nonchalant. I have truly made some mistakes and I feel sorry for Liar. It is natural that she is still mad at me. Chainer, I am your sister. Tell me what I have done wrong to you. Why are you doing this to me? Qin Feier smiled. Riley, what have I done wrong to you? Why are you so cold to me? Qin Shun was different before he had left the Qin family. Previously, although Qin Shun had never smiled at Qin Feier, he would never distance himself from her. Qin Feier waited for Qin Shin's response for a long while, but he did not utter a single word. Suddenly Qin Shin's words flashed through Qin Feier's mind. It was the things that he had said when he returned to the Qin family. He had been extremely cold to Qin Feier since. Me for extra chapters. Chainer, is it because I want to get into the Mu family? I like Nancian. He is so ethereal and otherworldly. Who doesn't like him? What is wrong with that? Qin Feier's eyes were full of sorrow. Her voice cracked. You must have thought that I have no dignity or respect for myself, as I want to be someone's concubine. You will understand this when you have found the lady whom you like. You would not hesitate to give her everything that you have. What was wrong with being Nan Xian's concubine? As long as Qin Feier could stay together with Nan Xian, she did not even care if Nan Xian did not make her his wife or concubine. In fact, Qin Feier had met Nan Xian before. Although she had only seen the grown-up Nan Xian from painting, she had met Nan Xian years ago when Nan Xian was still a kid. However, she could hardly forget him. Outside Tianxin Manor, Nan Xian was only 8 or 9 years old back then. However, he was not afraid of confronting many people of the Mu family. He was so imposing, like a god, and the people before him were just like ants. Qin Feier could never forget him since. When the people of the Mu family had sent her a painting of Nan Xian, who was a grown-up now, she could not help falling for him. She liked him. What was wrong with that? She did not care what the people out there said about her. She had no dignity. Well, what of it? Since Qin Chun was Qin Feier's brother and had distanced himself from her as he cared for her, why did he not understand her? Chainer, I know you like the lady, Feng Ruqing, but I am your sister. I will stand by you. If she truly likes you, I will beg father to let you marry her. Qin Feier was burning with jealousy. It felt like an army of ants was nibbling on her heart. However, she held back the jealousy because the person standing before her was Qin Chen. If marrying Feng Ruqing could ease Qin Chen's anger, it was not a big deal for the Qin family. Perhaps, if Qin Feier could touch Qin Chen's heart by doing this, he would no longer be cold and distant toward her. After all, Qin Feier owed Qin Chen too much. Qin Chen did not say anything. He merely walked past Qin Feier and did not even spare a glance at her. Qin Feier stood, dazed, on the spot, watching Qin Chen leaving. She could feel a sense of sorrow lingering in her heart. Qin Feier lowered her head and smiled wryly. Perhaps Qin Chen was upset the moment Qin Feier had chosen to set her dignity aside and accept the arranged marriage. It was all right. Qin Feier knew that Qin Chen would understand her someday. When he truly loved someone, he would not hesitate to sacrifice everything for her. Moreover, the chief manor had called off the arranged marriage. Hence, the Mu family had no other choices. Qin Feier's father would not let her be Nan Xian's concubine. She would be Nan Xian's first wife. Qin Feier did not notice that there was a turquoise bird resting on the tree branch above her head. After Qin Chen had left, the turquoise bird soared into the air and disappeared in the distance. Even if Qin Feier had seen the bird, she would never have noticed anything different about it. In the courtyard, Qing Han was resting her head on Feng Ruqing's lap. Mother, mother, Emerald is back. Seeing the turquoise bird, Qing Han broke into laughter. She got up and raised her finger so that the turquoise bird could rest on it. Emerald was the name of the turquoise bird. It was named after its color. The turquoise bird was the most common spirit beast that could hardly cultivate. Emerald, have the people of the Qin family been bullying Uncle Qin Chen in the past few days? Is Uncle Qin Chen my biological uncle? Qing Han blinked as she asked. Chirp, chirp, me for extra chapters. Emerald kept chirping for a long while, but Feng Ruqing did not know what it was talking about. Qing Han seemed to understand what the bird was saying. She turned her head to look at Feng Ruqing. Mother, Emerald said that originally the villains of the Qin family were mad, but Qin Feier had convinced them otherwise. Hence, no one has punished him. Feng Ruqing frowned slightly. Was she wrong? Qin Feier was really treating Qin Chen so well? Mother, Emerald is here to tell us that it would return to the Qin family to collect more information. Emerald 2 and Emerald 3 are still in the Qin family. Mother, is Uncle Qin Chen your biological brother? Feng Ruqing pursed her lips together and did not say anything. Unlike Hua Xia, there was no paternity test to determine whether Qin Chen was Feng Ruqing's biological brother. Although there was an ancient blood test that could verify the blood's familial affinity, it was not reliable and was prone to error. Moreover, the emperor and empress were not around. There was no way to do the ancient blood test. It would be great if there is a way that could affirm the blood's familial affinity directly. Feng Ruching reached out to rub her aching temples. As Feng Ruching was not sure of the relationship between Qin Qian and herself, she had never told Qin Qian about this. Fortunately, Qing Han was capable of communicating with the spirit beasts after she had woken. Hence, Feng Ruching had used some divine spirit fruits to recruit some minor spirit beasts to collect information for her. Even if the ancient blood test was not reliable, there must be someone in the Qin family who knew Qin Qian's actual identity. Hence, Feng Ruching could start investigating from the people in the Qin family. Mother, when will father come home? Qing Han rushed into Feng Ruching's embrace. I have no idea. Feng Ruching's hand that was stroking Qing Han's fingers halted. She lowered her eyes to stare at the cutie pie in her embrace. Nancian had always been protecting Feng Ruching. This time, Feng Ruching wanted to protect him instead. Hence, Feng Ruching did not tell Nancian that she would go to Tianshan Manor. Naturally, Nancian did not know that Feng Ruching was here. 1-inch mother, I miss Big Doggy. When will I see it again? Qing Han seemed dejected and spiritless. At this moment, a teenager, Big Doggy, was standing over a boundless ocean. His eyes were fixed on the surging waves. White Birdie, where are we now? Where is the island that Tianshan Manor is located at? I am a phoenix, not a bird. Birds and phoenix are not the same breeds. The white phoenix was burning with fury. The white phoenix was right. If one went all the way southward, he would reach the Southern Ocean. Tianshan Manor was located on an island of the Southern Ocean. However, simply no one knew where the island was. It was a vast ocean. How would he know where exactly the island was? The teenager squinted at the white phoenix. He knew that the white phoenix was unreliable. Little did he know, the white phoenix was so ridiculously unreliable. How could he meet Feng Ruching? Roar. Suddenly, the dragon let out a ferocious howl. The entire sky became heavily overcast. The boundless ocean roared. The waves rolled as high as mountains, as if a storm had just swept through. Countless spirit beasts in the ocean were summoned and were rushing toward the teenager. All the spirit beasts stood side by side before the teenager, as if worshipping an emperor. They were waiting quietly for the teenager's command. Go and look for a way to the island where Tianshan Manor is located. The teenager was so formidable and domineering. However, his face was still young and stunning. Me for extra chapters. This fellow is a strong opponent. The white phoenix narrowed its eyes as it looked at the domineering teenager. No way. He must not meet Xiao Qingqing so soon. If he wins Xiao Qingqing's heart, how could I be Xiao Qingqing's father-in-law? As the white phoenix wanted to marry Suyi, Feng Ruching was its kin. No one could take Feng Ruching away. Thinking of this, the white phoenix's heart filled up with pleasant delight. When the white phoenix met Suyi, she would certainly pay the white phoenix an enormous compliment. Thinking of this, its members stood out from its body. 1-inch well, let these spirit beasts get the way to the island. We can just wait for their good news here. The teenager looked away. Should I leave this fellow quietly? Suyi said that there are many formations on that island. This fellow must not be able to get in there. The white phoenix rolled its eyes. After all, it was only one last step left to get into Tianshan Manor. This teenager was not useful anymore. The white phoenix could get rid of this teenager now and look for Suyi and Nancian on its own. It could live happily ever after with Suyi, Nancian, and Feng Ruching. The teenager's mind was still focused on looking for the island. Little did he know, the white phoenix was already planning to get rid of him. If one could find the island, he would also find Tianshan Manor. Tianshan Manor was like a kingdom on an island in the Southern Ocean. Chapter 853. Meeting Tan Shuangshuang again too, it was isolated from the rest of the world. It was even hidden by numerous formations. No one could ever reach that place. There were many people who could not find their way to Tianshan Manor. That was why they guessed that Tianshan Manor had created a medium that belonged to them. Hence, the people of Tianshan Manor stayed inside the medium. It was what the outsiders assumed. They thought that what could not be seen was true because of the formations. In fact, The founder of Tian Shun Manor did not even have the ability to create a medium. But it was peaceful there on the surface of the ocean. The powerful people of Tian Shin Manor could still feel it too. Inside the chief manor, Gu Shi opened his eyes calmly. His gaze fell on the sky not far away. His eyes brightened. It was such a big movement that neither human beings nor spirit beasts were able to produce. There was only one possibility. Only those living things which were born out of the spiritual chi would be able to do so. They were born with the ability to control all the power within heaven and earth. Gu Shi got up from the rush cushion. He smoothed his sleeves and walked out of the cultivation room. The back hill was a prohibited place in the chief manor. It was a secret which Gu Shi got to know of when he got rid of the previous manor master. Moreover, only the manor master was allowed to go there. It was pitch dark in the jail that was located in the back hill. A woman whose face was scarred was seated in a corner in the dark. The darkness engulfed the extremely ugly and disgusting face. Gu Shi would always be frightened, although he prepared himself every time he went there. It was an indescribable feeling. He had never met someone whose face could be so ugly and disgusting that even heaven, earth, and hell would be shocked. He still remembered the first time he had met that woman in the jail when he had defeated the previous manor master. Her clothes were shabby. Her messy hair covered her extremely ugly face. Both of her hands were even nailed onto the wall. She appeared to be dead, but she did not seem to die. Gu Shi had killed a lot of people these past few years. He had slaughtered the entire family who had caused the death of his wife. He did not let any of them go. His hands were covered with the blood of the deceased. But he had never really tormented anybody even though they were his enemies. He would just end their lives there and then. He did not know the crime of that woman. He did not even know why she was being treated in such a way. He could not endure the sight of her being tormented like that. Hence, he planned to let her go and set her free. Me for extra chapters. But that woman never left. It seemed that she had treated the jail as her home. She would never leave it behind. Girl, Gu Shi sighed helplessly. How long are you planning to stay in my chief manor? I don't know what kind of hatred existed between you and the previous manor master. He treated you like this. Now, you're free at last. When will you leave? In fact, Gu Shi had been the manor master for 10 years now. That woman simply stayed there resolutely for 10 years. Her body festered, and she did not want to be treated by a physician. In the end, her body healed, but her face never did. That woman was not ordinary. It had not been peaceful in Tian Shin Manor as of late. He really did not want her there anymore. The woman remained quiet. It was just like 10 years ago. Gu Shi had never heard her voice. She had never spoken in front of him. She appeared to be a dumb person. Her eyes were dull. He did not know whether she really could not speak or that she thought that they were unworthy of her voice. Girl, I'm begging you now. When are you willing to leave? If not, the others would think that I'm the one who has tormented you in such a way if they find you here in the back hill. Gu Shi almost burst into tears. His conscience would not allow such things to happen. Although Gu Shi had killed quite a lot of people, those people deserved to die. He had never harmed anybody for no reason. However, no one knew about that. He had been the manor master for 10 years now. That woman had never left the cell and was clinging to it stubbornly. If the others got to know about this, they might think that Gu Shi was the one who had captured her. I'll tell you the truth now. This southern ocean is only an ocean. But it's quite peaceful because of the use of formation to suppress it. But I felt a strong wave there. Usually, it would never happen there. Gu Shi sighed helplessly when he realized that the woman still refused to talk. Only spiritual chi could have that kind of power. But things that are created by spiritual chi usually have neither intelligence nor conscience. They do whatever they want. They even have great power. If they choose to drown Tian Shin Manor or create trouble here, how are you going to run away given that you're quite weak? Surely, others can run away easily. It's not possible if you expect us to protect you. Gu Shi admitted that he was not a kind person. He had no relation with that woman. But that woman refused to leave. She was also eating a lot of their food. He would be crazy to protect her and abandon his own benefits. Born of spiritual chi? The girl's eyelids fluttered. But She did not give any response. It seemed as if she had not heard anything. Gusher spoke, angrily. Don't think that I'm threatening you. I heard a dragon's roar just now. It must be a dragon born of spiritual chi. There were numerous formations on the surface of the Southern Ocean. Their functions were more than simply being there on the island. The formations on the surface of the Southern Ocean were just like the spies of Tian Shan Manor. So, that was the reason why Gusher could receive the news of the plight in such a short time. A creature born of spiritual chi would surely surprise the entire Tian Shan Manor. Those people who did not fear death would surely go ahead and fight the creature. Gusher had actually planned not to reveal the truth because he wanted to prevent any fight in the chief manor. But he wanted to send the woman away badly. He had been thinking about that for 10 years now. He would do anything as long as he could send her away. The girl raised her head all of a sudden. What kind of eyes did she have? She was ugly, but her eyes were rather bright. Her eyes were even brighter than the stars at night. But soon, she calmed down. She maintained her silence just like a mute. Forget about it. Gusher sighed, helplessly, in the end. Just try and consider whether you want to leave or not. If you're afraid that someone out there will harm you, I have another manor somewhere else. I can arrange for you to live there. I can even order somebody to protect you and ask someone to heal your injuries. That's right. I know a girl. She's able to brew spirits herbal dishes. She might be able to help you. Me for extra chapters. The previous manor master was a villain. It seemed unlikely that the woman he kept in this cell was a villain too. Gusher pitied her and wanted to give her a hand. But he could not allow her to stay in captivity any longer. If not, his reputation would be ruined. It was impossible for her to remain in the chief manor too. If he was misunderstood, how could he explain himself to his deceased wife? Why did Gusher reveal Fengruking's true abilities? Why do I have to keep that a secret? Tian Shan Manor, Deity's Gate, and the Divine Herbs sect had their own territories in the mainland. He was even the manor master of Tian Shan Manor. Who would dare to harm Fengruching if Tian Shan Manor chose to protect her? That was true strength and power. If they owned true and strong power, they did not have to hide anymore. They could even do whatever they have wanted to do without anyone trying to stop them. Chapter 855. Meeting Tan Shuang again. 4 spirit herbal dishes? The woman's eyelids fluttered, but soon she became still again. It had been such a long time. There were other people who were able to brew spirit herbal dishes, but she was no longer one of them anymore. The woman hugged both of her knees tightly. She was still curled up in the darkest corner of the cell. She buried her head deep between her knees. It seemed as if she felt something in her heart. What if a person could enjoy the privilege of immortality? Was that a blessing or a curse? It might be a great pain for her. She needed to endure all the pain and continue to live in this world. Gusher sighed heavily. Then, he turned around and walked out of the cell. He turned and glanced at the Imperial Guard beside him when he walked out of the jail. Go and ask Yulao to come and meet me, said Gusher seriously.
Yes.
The Imperial Guard obeyed the order and retreated respectfully. Not many people knew of the incident that had happened on the surface of the Southern Ocean. On the contrary, Tian Shan Manor appeared peaceful as of late. Surely, the Mu family was an exception. Chen Xingyin had brought along Mu Huan to prepare birthday presents for their father these past few days in order to show her filial duties. Mu Ling was never bothered about the affairs of the Mu family. Chen Xingyin was the only one who took care of these things. Moreover, Mu Shi was always fooling around with women. He rarely bothered about these things. Therefore, Tan Shuang assumed that she could lead the Mu family when Chen Xingyin left. It seemed that she yearned for the news of her pregnancy to be known by the entire world. She wanted them to know that she was pregnant with Mu Ling's child. A few maids followed closely behind Tan Shuang while they were strolling in Tian Shan Manor. They were holding different kinds of boxes in their hands. Those boxes held exquisite and rare spirit herbs. Their act was quite daring, and it seemed that they were not afraid of the possibility of the spirit herbs being snatched away from them. Lady Shuang, the maid, Xiao Lu, was annoyed with what Tin Shuang was doing. She sounded sarcastic. We have left the manor and bought a lot of spirit herbs. If the young manor master and the young lady get to know this, they might be infuriated. Tan Shuangshuang frowned slightly. Father's birthday is coming soon. I'm his daughter-in-law. Why can't I prepare some presents for him? Since I cannot give him the spirit herbs of the Mu family, I have to go out and purchase them. Don't tell me that I don't even have this kind of privilege. Xiao Lu had all kinds of sarcastic thoughts in her heart. Master has only one daughter-in-law, and she is Lady Qingyan. You're only a woman without any status. You're not even a concubine. How could you assume yourself to be his daughter-in-law? Me for extra chapters. If you're not pregnant, I wouldn't even have addressed you as lady. But Xiaolu never showed her annoyance as she was only a maid. She understood the difference between superiority and inferiority. As Tan Shuangshuang was about to leave with her palace maids and the spirit herbs, she suddenly stopped short in her path. Darkness and coldness dawned on her smiling face. There was a sense of bottomless hatred in her eyes. Feng Ruqing, why is she here in Tianshan Manor? Soon, Tan Shuangshuang released her tightly clenched fists. Her lips curled up as she slowly walked toward Feng Ruqing. Princess, I never thought that we will meet again. A familiar voice made Feng Ruqing tilt her head to one side while she was talking to Luo Li. She raised her eyebrows slightly, and she was deeply shocked. Tan Shuangshuang, wasn't she with Lu Fuyong? Feng Ruqing had not been bothered about Tan Shuangshuang since that incident. She did not think that she would meet Tan Shuangshuang in Tianshan Manor. It seemed that enemies were always bound to meet each other one way or another. Chapter 856. Meeting Tan Shuangshuang again via Are you pregnant? Feng Ruqing scanned Tan Shuangshuang's pregnant belly with a faint smile. Does the child belong to Lu Fuyong? Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression shifted. Nobody understood better than her what Mu Ling cared about the most. That man cared about the reputation the most. If the people from Tianshan Manor knew about her past, that she had been together with someone else, Mu Ling would never forgive her. Princess. Tan Shuangshuang smiled lightly. I don't know what you're talking about. Your husband came to bother me the other day. I didn't allow him to do that. Then, you went and destroyed my reputation. I was on my own before I got together with young Master Mu. How could you ruin the Mu family's reputation? Feng Ruqing was rather surprised. Young Master Mu? Mu Ling? Has Tan Shuangshuang become Mu Ling's concubine? Feng Ruqing never had any kind of impression on Tan Shuangshuang. She neither liked nor disliked her. She was just annoyed by Tan Shuangshuang's relentless behavior, her persistence in bothering her. Is Tan Shuangshuang looking for trouble now? Whoever was related to Mu Ling was Feng Ruqing's enemies. Couldn't Lu Yuqin and his father satisfy you? Feng Ruqing smiled happily and advanced toward Tan Shuangshuang. Now, you have hooked up with Mu Ling. Could it be that you've fallen for both father and son? Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression darkened. In fact, Tan Shuangshuang should never have taken the initiative to go and provoke Feng Ruqing because of her previous experiences. But she yearned to fulfill her own urge to show off her new power in front of her old enemy. So what if you're beautiful? You've fallen for a lowly state preceptor. But I've become the woman of Tianshan Manor's young master. I'm much better than you even if I'm only a concubine. You're just the state preceptor's woman. Feng Ruqing would never fall for Mu Ling's son. Mu Shi was a wicked and evil villain. Feng Ruqing would never adore that kind of man. She would only fall for a gentleman like Mu Qingyi. Tan Shuangshuang smiled faintly. Princess, is it fun to slander me? I had a clean slate when I got together with the young master. He knows it clearly. Otherwise, why would he allow me to enter the Mu family? Feng Ruqing smiled happily. That's hard to say. Mu Ling might have a peculiar habit. He might like the feeling of being betrayed by women, or even the feeling of becoming a father. Tan Shuangshuang did not understand what Feng Ruqing was talking about, but she knew perfectly well that whatever Feng Ruqing said would never be nice things. How dare you? Me for extra chapters. The maid, Xiao Lu, disliked Tan Shuangshuang. But what Feng Ruqing had said was slanderous toward Mu Ling. She soon became angry. You're a lowly woman. How dare you insult my young master? Boom. Luo Li went forward and kicked Xiao Liu's chest. Xiao Lu was sent flying over the street. You're just a humble maid. How dare you scold my Xiaoqing? Tan Shuangshuang's face darkened even more. She did not understand the reason why there was always someone else who would help Feng Ruqing no matter where they were. Furthermore, the person who helped Feng Ruqing was a woman. Both of them were women. How could that woman help Feng Ruqing given that she was that beautiful and captivating? Was that woman not jealous of Feng Ruqing? It seemed to be much, or less the same situation back in Lu Yun Kingdom. Those women adored Feng Ruqing deeply. On the other hand, there were some men who hated Feng Ruqing deeply when they talked about her. It was strange. Tan Shuangshuang relaxed when she thought of that incident. She smiled gently. Feng Ruqing, so what if you're good and talented? You're always surrounded by only women. On the contrary, I am always surrounded by numerous men when I was in a better place before. There was always an endless stream of men, just like flies, lingering around me. Tan Shuangshuang believed that there were men who had feelings for Feng Ruqing in Lu Yun Kingdom. But when some young masters went to propose to her, they were nearly killed by the people of the Princess Manor. The common people did have not a single chance either. Feng Ruqing enjoyed such a high status and power that they could never dream of being with her. Moreover, they were unwilling to pay attention to her. In fact, Feng Ruqing had never paid any attention to men. She was gentle only toward women. That was why a lot of women adored her. Those men hated Feng Ruqing because almost all of the women in Lu Yun Kingdom adored Feng Ruqing. Their manic adoration threatened the men's marital prospects. How could they not hate Feng Ruqing? Tan Shuangshuang believed that she was talented and captivating. That was why a lot of men fought for her attention. She believed that Lu Yuqin had gotten tired of her and had gone in search of new excitement when she lost him. She never thought that she herself was the reason why Lu Yuqin had left her in the first place. She also never realized that her habit of labeling the men as flies proved that she herself was feces. Only feces would attract the flies. 1-inch Feng Ruqing. Tan Shuangshuang was serious now. I don't care how you ruin my reputation, but I'll never allow you to slander my young master. My child belongs to him. I know that you're jealous of me. You're jealous that Lu Yuqin likes me. Uncle Lu treats me like his own daughter. Hence, you hit me. You even infuriated Aunt Lu. That is why Lu Yuqin has divorced you. You're also jealous that I've become the woman of the Mu family's young master. You're just a wife of lowly estate preceptor. But you do know that your birth and background is better than mine. Your father is the emperor of Lu Yun Kingdom. You're adored and protected wherever you go. He would never punish you no matter how you bully or harm others. But what I own today is the result of my own efforts. I have taken baby steps each and every day. Feng Ruqing, could you please let me go? I never liked Lu Yuqin and have never dreamed of fighting with you for him. It's the result of his own wishful thinking. I'm innocent. If you're angry, go ahead and seek your revenge from him. I'm begging you for real now. Please forgive me. I do love my young master. I'm begging you. Please don't ruin my happiness by coming all the way here to Tianshan Manor. Luoli was stunned. Doesn't Xiaoqing belong to Tianshan Manor? Lu Yun Kingdom. It sounds familiar. It feels like I've heard it from someone else. Oh, Feng Ruqing was calm. I have forgiven you long ago. Tan Shuangshuang was speechless. I forgave both of you since the day Lu Yuqin divorced me. I forgave both of you when I almost died that day. I have even pasted the notice on the entrance of the city and asked you not to bother me. Tan Shuangshuang, why did you come and annoy me when I've forgiven you? Me for extra chapters. The crowd was infuriated when they heard what Tan Shuangshuang had said, but they did not dare to voice out their opinions after listening to Feng Ruqing's side of the story. Some people had spent all of their time cultivating so their intelligence was low. It is what we know as stupidity. However, not everyone is like that. It was obvious that the Mu family's concubine was the one who had started the conflict. She was the one who started elaborating on her own pitiful state. Feng Ruqing had only given her side of the story after Tan Shuangshuang had spoken. So, it was clear who was the one at fault here. Feng Ruqing shrugged with a smile. Moreover, I'm not slandering you about what had happened between you, Lu Yuqin, and his father. The entire Lu Yun Kingdom is well aware of that fact. I have even heard that you were almost killed by Lu Fyong's wife when you hooked up with him. So, I just want to ask you whether you're enjoying the adoration from both Mu Ling and Mu Shi when you have become part of the Mu family. Tan Shuangshuang went pale. Her whole being was engulfed by her hatred. She had forgotten that the others could easily learn about her past by investigating it in Lu Yun Kingdom. Tan Shuangshuang regretted what she had done. It was the first time she regretted provoking Feng Ruqing. Feng Ruqing continued talking when she saw that Tan Shuangshuang had nothing more to say in response. I heard that Mu Shi is fond of women. You're such a beauty. It's normal if he has that kind of feeling toward you. I just never thought that they have that kind of weird habit. Young Lady Tan, I congratulate you on being able to enjoy the happiness of living with two husbands, especially when they're father and son. You. Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression changed drastically. Feng Ruqing smiled and interrupted Tan Shuangshuang before she was able to utter any more words. Young Lady Tan, you don't have to be shy. It's known to the entire world. Mu Shi betrayed his own father. I just wonder how many people know of this incident. Tan Shuangshuang was shocked. She became nervous when she saw the look of disdain among the surrounding crowd. If the public knew that Mu Ling's woman was not an innocent woman, Mu Ling might beat her to death given how he prioritized his dignity. Moreover, Feng Ruqing had even added some more spice into the story and the others could be easily misled. In fact, she did sleep with Lu Fuyong. But Lu Yuqin had never touched her. Her numerous attempts proved to be failures. She had nothing to do with Mu Shi either. She was wrongly accused. Feng Ruqing was intentionally ruining her reputation. 1 inch I didn't. Tan Shuangshuang wanted to justify herself, but a cold voice came from behind her. Tan Shuangsheng, aren't you done humiliating yourself? Go back to the Mu family now. That voice was neither familiar nor unfamiliar to Tan Shuangshuang. But her heart still fluttered with anxiety. She turned her head and saw a man slowly approaching them. Uncle, I didn't. Tan Shuangshuang's eyes were filled up with tears. She shook her head and her voice was filled with pity. She had never seduced Mu Shi. Not even once. If Mu Qingyin misunderstood her, how could she survive in the Mu family? I don't know whether you've done that or not. But I've told you that you have no right to address me in such a way that you are using the status of the Mu family's young mistress. Tan Shuangshuang pursed her lips. Second young manner master, she's wrongly accusing me. I haven't done what she has claimed. Me for extra chapters. It's enough if you yourself know about those things. You don't have to explain yourself to me. The Mu family's reputation being ruined is related to my elder brother. But what has it got to do with me? Mu Qingyin smiled faintly. He had never cared about reputation. The old manor master and his sister-in-law did not care about it too. In fact, the Mu family strived for strength instead of reputation. His elder brother was the only one who cared about reputation. Tan Shuangshuang felt weak. Her eyes were filled with deep pain. He doesn't believe in me. How dare he choose not to trust me? Feng Ruqing. It's all her fault. Tan Shuangshuang trembled. She did not say anything anymore as she turned and left. Mu Qingyin gazed in the direction where Tan Shuangshuang had left. He smiled coldly. Second young manor master of the Mu family? Feng Ruqing touched her chin softly. She was intentional in misleading the crowd so that both Mu Ling and his son's reputation would be ruined. The second young manor master's unclear comment just now supported what she had said. Why? Why did the second young manor master of the Mu family want to destroy Mu Ling? Mu Qingyin was just leaving when he suddenly saw a bracelet on Feng Ruqing's hand. His eyes narrowed, and he swiftly came toward her. He reached out and grabbed Feng Ruqing's hand. Feng Ruqing responded naturally. She stretched her leg without any hesitation and kicked Mu Qingyin a few meters away. The noisy streets soon fell into a heavy silence. All noises disappeared, and they stared at Feng Ruqing in shock. Luoli was stunned too. Did Feng Ruqing just kick the second young manor master of the Mu family? To their surprise, she had attacked the second young manor master of the Mu family. That was the old master's favorite son in the Mu family. Moreover, He was Nan Xian's uncle too. Mu Qingyin cleared his throat. The Imperial Guards were going to react when Mu Qingyin raised his hand and prohibited them from doing anything more. His steps faltered as he slowly walked toward Feng Ruqing. He seemed guilty and apologetic. I'm sorry. I went over the line just now. I didn't mean to harm you. Oh, I do know that you mean no harm. Feng Ruqing apologized sincerely. But I couldn't control myself. I dislike being touched by any male. That's disgusting. I'll get goosebumps all over my body. That's why I was unable to refrain from kicking you. That was the truth. It was not her fault. She could not control her body's natural response. Mu Qingyin was speechless. It was the first time he was disliked by someone else. It was a heartbreaking feeling. Young lady, where did you get that bracelet? Mu Qingyin stared at the bracelet on Feng Ruqing's hand. His breathing seemed erratic. Feng Ruqing touched her bracelet. Mushi had met her before, and he was well aware of the relationship between Nan Xian and her. But Mu Qingyin clearly did not know anything about that. That was proof that he was totally different from Mu Ling. Feng Ruqing realized that Mu Qingyin was staring at her bracelet all the time. She kept quiet for a while before explaining to him, Suyi gave it to me. It was indeed the truth. Suyi had given it to Feng Ruqing at the Princess Manor. She had forced it onto Feng Ruqing at that time. Mu Qingyin wanted to hold onto Feng Ruqing's hand again. But he suddenly remembered what she had done just now. He retracted his hand. Are you the one my elder brother had mentioned before? The woman who is adored by my sister-in-law and Nan Xian? Feng Ruqing was silent. It's fine if you want to talk about Nan Xian. But why did you have to bring Suyi up? It sounded like Feng Ruqing was the one who had seduced Suyi. Me for extra chapters. Do you know where Suyi is? Mu Qingyin continued his queries. In fact, Feng Ruqing hoped that Suyi never returned to the Mu family. It was a place that had broken her heart before. Do you want her back? Hence, she kept quiet for a moment before answering Mu Qingyin. Mu Qingyin did not say anything. He did hope for her sister-in-law's return. But Chun Qingyin was there now. His elder brother was so stubborn. If she returned, she would only be heartbroken. That was why he did not take any actions these past few days, even though he had promised his father to go and look for Suyi. Feng Ruqing smiled sarcastically. If Suyi returns one day, it would never be for Mu Ling's sake. It's difficult for her to forget about the past. He'll never allow anybody to harm her again for the rest of her life. I understand. Mu Qingyin smiled softly. I won't force her to return to the Mu family. Feng Ruqing looked at Mu Qingyi's sickly face. After a short while, she said, You seem to be weak. Are you sick? Yes, I had fetus poisoning. It's difficult to cure because I was poisoned when my mother was pregnant with me. It could be cured during the earlier period when he was poisoned. But nobody ever found out that his mother was poisoned back then. When he was born, his mother had died from the poison. That was when the others found out the truth. He was poisoned when he was still inside his mother's belly. That was the reason why his body was weak since he was young. Although he did not die from the poison was slowly and gradually damaging his body. Hence, he did not know how long more he had to live. Grandmaster Qian Kuan had the same opinion too. If he was doing fine, he would be just like any healthy person. He would only appear weak. If his body's health deteriorated, he would be dead any second even if he was fine before. That was also the reason why he did not get married. He was afraid that he would ruin an innocent girl's happiness. Young lady, Mu Qingyin did not want to dwell on the past. He laughed. I've never met you before, but I trust my sister-in-law. Master's birthday is around the corner. If you want to come, we will welcome you with open arms. If you're unwilling to meet somebody, it's fine if you don't want to come and join us. Feng Ruqing recovered her senses. She smiled softly. Don't worry, I won't be going. Mu Qingyin was shocked. This young lady is indeed honest. I admire that. Even Mu Qingyin had started to like her. Surely, that feeling was just what any elder would feel toward younger people. It was just admiration, and there were no mixed feelings. Mu Qingyin did not say anything more. He smiled a little and turned to leave. Master's birthday is coming soon. I wonder if my sister-in-law and Nancian will return to the Mu family. Since that young lady came to Tianshan Manor, they might come back soon. Tan Shuangshuang was upset. She never thought that Feng Ruqing would appear in Tianshan Manor and reveal about her past. She would surely be punished if Mu Ling heard about that, even if she was pregnant. Suddenly, a person appeared in front of her and blocked her path. Tan Shuangshuang stopped walking. She raised her eyes and looked at the woman in front of her. She was a beauty indeed, but she appeared sickly. Her beauty was not oppressive, but it was rather a captivating sight. Unknowingly, Tan Shuangshuang saw her past self in this woman in front of her. Lady Shuang. Qin Feier smiled. I saw what happened just now. Me for extra chapters. Tan Shuangshuang's facial expression changed all of a sudden. Did she come to intentionally humiliate me? Lady Shuang, do you know young Lady Feng? Qin Feier smiled softly. Her voice was gentle and soft. Tan Shuangshuang's face darkened. What do you want, Lady Qin? Oh, I want to know more about her. Qin Feier lowered her eyes. My younger brother seems to adore her. I'm his elder sister. I need to take good care of him. Tan Shuangshuang was shocked. It seems that her younger brother is called Qin Chen. Feng Ruqing had brought back a young man before. He was called Qin Chen too. Are they the same person? Otherwise, what else could explain Feng Ruqing's presence here in Tianshan Manor? Are you talking about Feng Ruqing? Tan Shuangshuang lowered her eyes. She smiled. She's the princess of Lu Yun Kingdom. Lu Yun Kingdom? Qin Feier frowned. A small kingdom of the secular world? It's rumored that Chainer was brought back from a small kingdom by father. He even has a twin elder sister. Qin Feier remembered how close Qin Shan and Feng Ruqing were. She was shocked. Then, she shook her head and laughed. Chapter 861. Meeting Mu Qingyin for the first time. She had clearly been overthinking. Don't twin siblings look alike? But Feng Ruqing and Qin Shun did not look like each other at all. So, Qin Shun adored her, and they were not related to each other. Chainer did not have any other family except the Qin family. What about that young girl's character? Was she married before?
Yes.
Tan Shuangshuang laughed, coldly. She did have a husband before. His name is Lu Yuchen. He had always lingered around me. It was obvious that I never liked him. Feng Ruqing blamed it on me. She not only got my father fired, but had also given me 200 beatings. That was the most humiliating experience in her entire life. She would never forget about it. She hated both Feng Ruqing and Lu Yuchen. Qin Feier was shocked. Feng Ruqing was married before. Qin Feier did not bother to verify what Tan Shuangshuang had just said. What was more important was that Feng Ruqing was someone else's wife before. If a woman could not be loyal to the man she loved, what right did she have to be married into the Qin family? Qin Feier pursed her lips tightly. She was paled. She did not know how to reveal the excruciating truth to Chainer. Chainer would be heartbroken. He was lied to by a woman in such a way. Moreover, you can go and investigate it in Lu Yun Kingdom. You'll find out that Feng Ruqing has hooked up with the state preceptor after she left Lu Yuchen. She had even captured handsome men and brought them back to the Princess Manor. Qin Feier's facial expression worsened. She was unwilling to show her feelings in front of Tan Shuangshuang. Thus, she forced a smile. Thank you for telling me these things. Goodbye. She turned and walked toward the Qin family. Her smile disappeared the minute she turned away. It was replaced with deep fury and pain. She was infuriated with Feng Ruqing for lying to Qin Chan. She was even grieved by the fact that her beloved younger brother was being lied to by a woman. Me for extra chapters. I'm prepared and willing to let her take good care of Chainer. We don't care about the identity and status of the person whom Chainer is going to marry. Qin Feier took a deep breath. She appeared to have made her decision. Chainer had a rather special position in the Qin family. His parents would never allow him to marry young ladies from wealthy families who enjoyed high status in life. Although Feng Ruqing was adored by Gui, her status in life was low, and she was suited for Qin Chen. So, her father would never reject such a proposition. However, it would be a totally different circumstance if she was married before. ITLL ruined the Qin family's reputation. Father will never agree to that. Lucia, what do you think? Feng Ruching doesn't seem like a wild girl. Why doesn't she understand the importance of a woman's ethics and virtues? Qin Fei laughed bitterly. It's what a woman should do, being loyal to a man her entire life. She needs to remain alone even if her husband dies before her. Even if she's divorced, she should never seduce anybody anymore. She should keep to herself instead. She would never comment so much on a woman if the man involved was not her younger brother. Hence, she would never allow Chainer to marry a wild girl. Lu Xia sneered. Young lady, some women assume that every man must like them as they are beautiful. Luckily, she has never met young Master Nancian. If not, her target might be young Master Nancian instead of young Master Qinshan. Qin Fei smiled and shook her head. No, Nancian is not that kind of man. I heard that a lot of women wanted to marry him. He was never bothered about them no matter how beautiful they were. Moreover, Nancian is a filial person. He would never be seduced if the young manor master of the Mu family does not agree to that. Nancian was different from any other man. He would never be seduced no matter how beautiful Feng Ruching was. Otherwise, Qin Fei would never have fallen for him. Xiao Qing. Luo Li tilted her head and stared at Feng Ruching in Tianshan Manor. Is the young mistress of the Mu family not going to come back? Luo Li had never met Su Yi, but there were all kinds of rumors about her in Tianshan Manor. She heard that the young mistress of the Mu family was deeply in love with the young manor master. How could she give it up so easily given the depth of her feeling for him? Luo Li stopped talking for a while. She remained silent. If Little Fox wanted a concubine, Luo Li would never allow him to do so even if she adored him deeply. She could never endure the sight of them being together. The young mistress of the Mu family might feel the same too. Feng Ruching smiled softly and said, her name is Su Yi. She's not the young mistress of the Mu family. She's no longer related to the Mu family anymore. Luo Li replied, obediently, oh, okay. Luo Li, how's your grandmother doing? Feng Ruching was unwilling to talk about the Mu family anymore. She changed the topic. Luo Li seemed delighted when she heard that. She's feeling better now after having the spirit herbal dishes. She will soon be cured. Xiaoqing, the time is late now. I need to get back and be with her. She's lonely being left at home. Luo Fei rarely stayed at home now. He might have received too great a shock from what happened between him and Qin Xiaoya. They did not even know what Luo Fei had done outside. Although there were a lot of maids in the Luo family, they could not be treated like family. It was incomparable to a family's company. Luo Li did not want her old grandmother to stay at home all by herself for a long time. Fine. Feng Ruching smiled. Luo Li then bid Feng Ruching goodbye. She turned and left. Feng Ruching did not rush home after Luo Li left her. On the contrary, she turned and walked toward the chief manor. Old Lady Luo was getting healthier now. She was sunbathing at the moment. She saw Luo Li from afar looking just like a butterfly. A soft and gentle smile soon crept up upon her wrinkled face. Grandmother. Luo Li smiled and threw herself into Old Lady Luo's arms. I'm back. Old Lady Luo patted Luo Li's head gently. Did you go and meet young Lady Xiaoqing? Why didn't you ask her to come here given that your father is not at home? We're the only ones here. Me for extra chapters. Luo Fei deeply regretted what he had done. He regretted being unable to recognize the wickedness in people. He had almost harmed the entire Luo family. But Old Lady Luo and Luo Li would not forgive him so easily even if he regretted what he had done. They labeled him as a bastard and an idiot in their hearts. Grandmother, I learned today that Xiao Qing does not come from Tianshan Manor. She comes from a place called Lu Yun Kingdom. Old Lady Luo's fingers trembled. What did you say? I said that Xiao Qing does not belong to Tianshan Manor. I heard from the concubine of the Mu family. Feng Ruching is a princess of Lu Yun Kingdom. Grandmother, what kind of place is that? If Xiao Qing leaves Tianshan Manor one day, I still can go and look for her there. Luo Li seemed dazzled. She had been to Paramount, but there were numerous franchises on the entire mainland. The one in Lu Yun Kingdom was not the only one in the world. Hence, Luoli naturally did not know where Lu Yun Kingdom. Grandmother? Luoli did not receive any reply from old lady Luo for a long while. She did not understand what was wrong. Then, she raised her head and was shocked. What's wrong with grandmother? Chapter 863. See, old lady Luo's wrinkles were trembling and her eyes were brighter than ever. She was so excited to the point where it seemed like she would cry the very next moment. Luoli touched her head. Grandmother, what's the matter with you? Old lady Luo closed her eyes. Her emotions were a little out of control and her heart was beating extremely fast. The Emperor of Lu Yun Kingdom. Was she the daughter of the Emperor of Lu Yun Kingdom? Old lady Luo opened her eyes after a while. Her voice was shaking. Did you say that Xiao Qing is the princess of Lu Yun Kingdom? Liar, tell me, is this true? Luoli tilted her head. It was the concubine of the Mu family who has said that. Xiao Qing did not deny it. It is probably true. Old lady Luo's lips trembled, but she could not speak. Her tears flowed down her old wrinkled face and instantly covered her face. Tianya, your son is already married and has children. Your granddaughter has grown so big. She is as excellent as you. Grandmother, Luoli panicked. Is there any relationship between Lu Yun Kingdom and the Luo family? Old lady Luo smiled. Ever since her father began to confront her for Qin Xiaoye's sake, she had never been as happy as she was now. However, Luoli clearly felt that her grandmother was really happy this time. Liar, Lady Xiaoqing is a good person. Remember, you have to stand by her side no matter what happens. Why? Luoli was even more puzzled. Although her grandmother liked Xiaoqing, she had never been so decisive before. Hence, she concluded that there must be something that she did not know. Why? Old lady Luo's gaze was dazed. This was because the Luo family owed it to Tianya. If her late husband had not gone to help Tianya himself, he would not have fallen into the trap only to be used to threaten Tianya. How could Tianya, who was so affectionate, ignore her late husband? Therefore, the Luo family was bound to owe Tianya me for extra chapters. Girl, there is something that you don't need to know. Old lady Luo said, otherwise, it's not good for you and also Xiaoqing. Why did Tianya not use his real name? He knew that he had offended many in order to protect the people. If the people knew that she was Tianya's granddaughter, some people might take action against her since she was a part of the royal family of Lu Yun Kingdom. Luo Li's heart trembled. She seemed to notice something and clenched her fists. Does someone want to attack Xiaoqing? Old lady Luo was silent. Luo Li continued to ask, since Xiaoqing is the princess of Lu Yun Kingdom, that means she is from the secular world. Aren't there certain rules in that world? Will they dare to attack her? Old lady Luo shook her head. She has already come to the reclusive world. If Feng Ruqing was really related to Nanxian of the Mu family, then she could not be considered as someone of the reclusive world. In the secular world, the rule would no longer be effective if that person was in the reclusive world. Tianya had had too many enemies. There were certain things that she did not even dare to tell her granddaughter. She was afraid that she would bring disaster to Tianya's family. But Xiaoqing and Gu Yi have such a good relationship. Who would dare to hurt her with Tianshan Manor is protecting her? Luo Li lifted her stubborn face. Old lady Luo laughed helplessly. This little girl was really as naive as ever. Little girl, do you know that no matter how the Mu family acts, the manor master would not meddle with it? Why? Because Grandmaster Hairong is not the same as Grandmaster Qian Kuan. Grandmaster Qian Kuan has an in-depth understanding of medical knowledge, but he is rather poor in terms of strength. However, Grandmaster Hairong has very great strength. Old lady Luo caressed Luo Li's head. So, even if the old master of the Mu family was seriously ill, the manor master will at most only cause some troubles to the Mu family. He will not really punish them. It was impossible for Grandmaster Hairong to damage the reputation of the Mu family due to his temperament, but he would also not avenge the Mu family. Mu Ling also understood this very well. That was why he was so desperate to form an alliance with the Manor Master through Nan Xian's marriage. What he wanted was power, not to protect the Mu family. Grandmaster Hairong could not give him what he wanted. It was also because of this that the Manor Master had to cancel the marriage and refuse to let the Mu family visit his manor. Nonetheless, he would still not hurt the Mu family. If their lives were in danger, Grandmaster Hairong would certainly help them. Let me give you a simple example. Everyone in the reclusive world knows Tianya. They know that he has no other stronger forces supporting him. He has always been fighting alone. Old Lady Luo smiled bitterly. Tianshan Manor, Deity's Gate, and the Divine Herb Sect are the three largest forces on the mainland. They are so famous all over the world because of their strong power. However, there are some strong men who don't really care about that. They don't want to build any forces. There are still many strong men who would rather fight alone like Tianya. Some people thought that building a force would slow down their cultivation. Therefore, they would always find a quiet place to cultivate. There were too many such powerful men on the mainland. They did not show themselves to the world. Thus, no one knew their names, which had led to the idea that the three major forces were the strongest in the world. Luoli finally understood. If someone wanted to hurt Xiaoqing, even the Manor Master might not be able to protect her. Furthermore, there are still many places that you don't know about in this world. Old Lady Luo's expression grew more helpless. The place that Tianya has gone to still can't be reached by anyone to this day. It is said that whoever goes inside the place would basically never return. Me for extra chapters. At that time, someone has used a secret method to forcibly retain a soul and step into that world. Many years later, that person's soul token was broken. Hence, everyone knew that he has died in that world. However, that person has only left a sentence to that soul that remained. He told all his disciples to not enter that world. That is their clan's rule. Anyone who broke the rule would be kicked out. No one knows what that world looks like. But if it was not too dangerous, why would that person say this? Liar. This world is too big. We can only reach certain places in this world. The strong men that you think is strong might not be really strong men. Luoli remained silent. She listened to Old Lady Luo's words quietly. If it was not for her grandmother's words, she really would have continued to think that the three major forces were the strongest in the world. She thought the Manor Master, Gu Shi, could really protect Xiaoqing. It was only now that she knows how naive she was. Grandmother, I understand now. Luoli raised her small head. Her eyes glowed. This world is so big and there are many strong people. I will also work hard to cultivate and strive to catch up with my little fox in the future. The old lady who was initially amazed by Luoli was bewildered after she heard Luoli's words. Liar, do you really want to marry a fox? Yes, the little fox is nice to me. Actually, I think Qin Chin of the Qin family is quite good. Really, Old Lady Luo persuaded. Luoli pouted. He is too cold. He is not warm enough. I don't like him. Then what about Mu Qingyin? He is also not bad. No, he's too old. I'm still very young. Moreover, he is too mysterious and he is like the kind of person who can't be reached like the moon. I don't want to just look at a person from far away all my life. Besides, I'm not Qin Feier. I will not be stubborn and still like the person whom I know I have no future with. Old Lady Luo sighed. Then when will you bring that little fox to see me? Luo Li's eyes brightened. She smiled. Well, I will bring him back after he transforms into a human. By the way, did Qin Xiaoye really want to hurt Gu Yi just because of some quarrels? And also, how did you find your father's spirit herb? Old Lady Luo smiled. It was Qin Chuan who told me that Qin Xiaoye has exchanged the spirit herb, but he told me not to go too early. Otherwise, Xiaoqing will not be able to see a good show. Hence, I was already waiting outside with the spirit herb for quite a while. Luoli was speechless. Oh, so Qin Chan was this kind of person. As for the spirit herb, it was Qin Li who had asked Qin Xiaoye to change it. Qin Li? Luoli was shocked. Does the Manor Master know about it? The Manor Master is not a fool. He can see through it easily. Was it necessary to poison Gu Yi due to some quarrels? Only a fool would believe this. The Manor Master loves Gu Yi so much. Why did he let the Qin family go? Luo Li was puzzled. Old Lady Luo sneered. The Manor Master only pretends to let the Qin family go for now. But who knows what will happen in the future? Liar. Although the Manor Master did not gain his position rightfully, Gu Yi will still be the successor of the Manor Master. So, he can't take action toward the Qin family since there is no proof. However, the Manor Master is a ruthless person and also a lunatic. If he was not ruthless, he would not have killed the former Manor Master. Me for extra chapters. As long as there is a chance, he will definitely take revenge on the Qin family. He is a vengeful person. If he can't destroy the Qin family now, the Qin family will also not live well in the future. The Manor Master was the strongest in Tianshan Manor. Although Luoli did not know who was stronger, the Manor Master or Grandmaster Hyro. But still, the Manor Master had strong power and was far more superior than anyone. Qinli wanted to make the Manor Master crazy so that he had a chance to attack him. Unfortunately, things did not happen as he had wished. He could not take away the Manor Master position. I understand, grandmother, Luoli said with a smile on her face. The Qin family will not exist for too long. Everyone knew that the Manor Master cared most about Gu Yi. However, those people still dared to attack his daughter in order to defeat him. The Qin family would not be living a good life since they had enraged this lunatic. Dogs are really tender and cute, but if one really dared to hurt her cubs, even the most docile dog would bite and attack him. Besides, Gu Shi was not a docile dog. He was an irritable and fierce Tibetan Mastiff. One Luoli could not help but sigh again. She envied that Gu Yi had a father that would always protect her and stand by, unlike hers. Her heart was cold. Chapter 866. The woman who stayed at the back hill near the Chief Manor V in the Chief Manor. Gu Shi narrowed his eyes and scanned the girl standing in front of him. You want to go to the back hill? Feng Ruqing slightly nodded.
Yes.
At that moment, Gu Shi was so scared that his heart was about to stop beating. But he pretended to be indifferent. Did Feng Ruqing know that a woman was imprisoned by him in the back hill? Did Feng Ruqing come to expose his secret? What to do? If his secret was exposed, his reputation that he had built his whole life would completely be damaged.
Ahem.
Gu Shi cleared his throat. He was embarrassed. Lady Xiaoqing, there is really nothing in the back hill behind my manor. I am not lying to you. There is really nothing there. The more he explained, the more he felt guilty. Gu Yi was suspicious. Father, are you really hiding a woman in the back hill? Otherwise, why is the back hill a forbidden area? I haven't been there in the past few years. Are you really hiding a woman there? She really had not been to the back hill. Furthermore, she did not have much interest in the back hill. But now that Feng Ruqing had mentioned it, she, too, wanted to follow along. Too bad that her father was petty and did not allow anyone to enter the back hill. Was he really hiding a woman? If Gu Shi did not know that Gu Yi was just making random guesses, he might have thought that she had found out his secret. His heart trembled after hearing what she had said. You know that this is a rule that has been passed down from the former Manor Masters. How could I not follow the rule when I am the Manor Master of Tianshan Manor? Gu Yi did not really care about it. You are not the kind of person that would follow the rules. When you first served as the Manor Master, you took out the grave of the former Manor Master. I don't believe that you would follow Tianshan Manor's rules. It was ridiculous. Her father was not someone who would obey the rules. Gu Shi was speechless. Little devil, is it really good to expose me like this in front of others? I still had to protect my reputation. It's not that I'm petty. I don't allow people to enter the back hill because there is really nothing there. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Xiaoqing and I just want to go to see the scenery. Gu Yi smiled. Father, even if you disagree, I will still bring Xiaoqing there. Unless you lock me up. Lock her up? How could he do it? Me for extra chapters. Let's talk about it. Gu Yi picked up a white jade token and played with it before Gu Shi could finish his words. Father, Whose grave have you robbed this time? Who has left this white jade token here? I can see spiritual chi flowing inside this white jade token. The person who can seal the spiritual chi within this token is strong. The sound of the token falling to the ground is also very pleasant. Gu Shi was speechless. Gu Shi's face was pale. He was about to cry. Little devil, don't be impetuous. The sound is not pleasant. Please put it down. Crack. Gu Yi smashed the white jade token onto the ground. It was broken into pieces. The sound as crisp as a bell made Gu Yi feel better. Then, she took another jade bottle from the shelf next to her. Her father did not have many hobbies. The only thing he liked was these pieces. She also did not have many hobbies. The only thing she liked was the smashing sound of these pieces. Gu Shi really wanted to cry. You have already smashed so many things in the past. This is another batch that I have managed to get recently. Little devil, please don't do this to me. They'll take you to the back hill now. What was saving face? He did not know anything about it. He just wanted to protect these jade pieces. Those were all his babies. If he absorbed all the spiritual chi from within these jade pieces, he could further improve his strength. But his daughter had already smashed another one again before he could use it. 1 inch good. Gu Yi put down the jade bottle and turned to Feng Ruching with a smile. She was waiting for Feng Ruching to praise her. Gu Shi was even more heartbroken. Her daughter was helping other people rather than him. Feng Ruching caressed Gu Yi's head. Which spirit herb do you want? Gu Shi, who was still upset, lightened up after he heard Feng Ruching's words. He hurriedly looked at Feng Ruching and his breathing was fast. But Gu Yi shook her head and refused. I didn't help you because of the spirit herb. I don't want it. Gu Shi wanted to help Gu Yi answer Feng Ruching's question. Nonetheless, he did not dare to say anything. He could only stare at Feng Ruching. Feng Ruching remained silent for a while. I have a spirit herb with me. Only those lower than Dark Warrior tier could use it. It can help speed up the cultivation speed. It will not have much effect on those who have achieved Dark Warrior tier. You are still not strong enough, so you should just keep it first. Wait until you have achieved Spirit Warrior tier. Gu Shi's heart trembled. He gazed at Feng Ruching with a complicated feeling in his heart. He knew what Feng Ruching meant. Although she was talking to Gu Yi, the spirit herb was mainly prepared for the chief manor. What did the chief manor have the most? Members of Spirit Warrior tier. Those who have achieved Spirit Warrior tier were definitely strong. But for Gu Shi's case, there were too many of them in the chief manor. What if all of them got to achieve Dark Warrior tier? By increasing the cultivation speed 10 times faster than usual, what would happen to the chief manor? There would no longer be any Spirit Warrior tier in the chief manor in 1 or 2 years. Okay. Gu Yi smiled and accepted it. She would treasure anything that Xiao Qing gave to her for the rest of her life. No one could snatch it from her. Me for extra chapters. The back hill was a forbidden area in Tianshun Manor. Gu Shi himself also did not know the reason why it was a forbidden area. He just continued enforcing that rule because he did not want people to see the woman in the back hill. Gu Shi was willing to take Feng Ruching to the back hill because he thought that Feng Ruching was just taking a stroll there. He believed that she would not find the woman he was hiding so coincidentally. However, he started to panic a few minutes after they were in the area. It was because Feng Ruching was walking in the direction where he had hidden the woman. He wanted to stop them, but he had no reason in doing so. Father, why is there a dungeon in this back hill? Gu Yi realized that something was not right. He looked back at Gu Shi. You have not really imprisoned any woman, right? Or have you? Gu Shi's face grew dark. Did his daughter girl really think that he was such a bad person? A bad person like the former manor master? Furthermore, with his handsome face and strength, many women were waiting in line to meet him. He did not have to do that. But Gu Shi could not say anything when he thought of the woman who was reluctant to leave the dungeon. Gu Shi said with a smile on his face. There is nothing to see here. They'll take you to see the scenery. There is also a hot spring in the other direction. It's quite good. What about, under normal circumstances, Gu Yi would not have wanted to go visit a dungeon. However, since Gu Shi kept urging them to leave, he had piqued Gu Yi's curiosity. She wanted to know who was actually locked in the dungeon. Xiao Qing, my father must have taken a lady back to the manor and locked her in there. Let's go and take a look. The more Gu Shi urged them to leave, the more curious Gu Yi got. She insisted on going into the dungeon. Gu Shi simply could not stop her. Gu Yi kicked open the dungeon door. In a dark corner, a lady with her face covered by her hair could be seen crouching on the ground, ragged and dirty. Gu Shi's heart skipped a beat. The color drained from his face. His image was completely ruined. In fact, Gu Yi knew that Gu Shi would never take a lady back to the manor forcefully. It was just her casual remark. Now, seeing the poor lady crouching in the corner, Gu Yi turned her head stiffly. Father, did you really do this? What kind of a monster are you? There was no wonder that the back hill was a forbidden place. It turned out that someone was hiding his shameful affair. I didn't do anything to her. She is the one who refuses to leave. I am innocent. Do you believe me? Gu Shi's lips trembled. Father, do you think she is a fool? Why does she want to stay here and refuse to leave? Gu Shi wanted to say that Gu Yi was right. This lady was a fool. However, he could not say a word before his daughter. Feng Ruqing walked slowly toward the lady. Her fingers brushed the lattice hair gently. A face full of scars appeared before her eyes. It was extremely hideous. However, Feng Ruqing did not seem to feel disgusted. Qing Han led me to this place. Besides this lady, there is nothing else in the dungeon. Apparently, this lady is not the one who is called out to Qing Han. Feng Ruqing sank into contemplation. The lady raised her head. Her face was full of anger. Seeing the lattice face, Gu Yi sucked in a breath of cold air. Simply no one knew how much struggles this lady had gone through. Now, if someone told Gu Yi that her father had taken this lady back into the manor by force as he could not stand the loneliness, Gu Yi would not even doubt it. However, her father would never disfigure the lattice face. Lost in thought, the lady stared dazedly at Feng Ruqing. Suddenly, the lady seemed to have felt that was something different. Her grubby hands quickly held onto Feng Ruqing's arms. Me for extra chapters. As this lady had not left the dungeon for a long time, her hands were covered with dirt, leaving fingerprints on Feng Ruqing's sleeves. Xiao Qing. Panicking, Gu Yi wanted to walk up to Feng Ruqing, but Feng Ruqing stopped her. Feng Ruqing was still calm and composed. She did not seem to feel the slightest bit disgusted. She lowered her eyes to stare at the lady before her. You want me to bring you out of here? The lady nodded desperately. Her eyes were not as gloomy as before and were now sparkling like stars. Did the people here scar your face? Feng Ruqing continued asking. The lady nodded. Her eyes were filled with resentment. Seeing this, Feng Ruqing and Gu Yi turned to look at Gu Shi. I did not do this. It was the former manor master. I only know that she is here after taking over this chief manor. I asked her to leave, but she refused. I did not force her to stay here. Gu Shi's face was ghastly pale. Feng Ruqing tilted her head and looked at the poor lady. You must take a bath and change your clothes before leaving together with me. I will take you out of here after that. Although Feng Ruqing was very gentle with ladies, she was not an extremely kind person. However, when she saw this poor lady, her heart melted. She did not know why she wanted to take this lady out of the dungeon. The lady held onto Feng Ruqing's arm tightly and did not let go of her. A look of resolute determination settled down upon the lattice face. Let go of my arm. I won't leave you behind. Feng Ruqing sighed. Startled, the lady stared at Feng Ruqing, as if contemplating whether she could trust Feng Ruqing. In the end, the lady did not loosen her grip on Feng Ruqing's arm. She did not trust Feng Ruqing. Am I not trustworthy? Feng Ruqing could see the doubt in the lattice eyes. She turned her head around to look at Gu Yi. Gu Yi nodded after pondering for a while. After all, Feng Ruqing was not someone who would keep her promise. As long as Nan Xian is still around, no one would believe in the things that you said. Feng Ruqing would leave everyone behind and run off with Nan Xian if he wanted Feng Ruqing to do so. Naturally, no one believed in her. Feng Ruqing raised her brows. She had never thought that she was an unreliable person in Gui's heart. Feng Ruqing turned her head sideways. Her gaze fell upon the lady. How long do you want to hold my arm? The lady pondered for a while. She shook her head. Her hands were still holding onto Feng Ruqing's arm. Go and take a bath. They'll wait for you outside. I can't go in together with you. Although we are ladies, how could you take a bath without letting go of my arm? Feng Ruqing was right. The lady bit her lip and let go of Feng Ruqing's arm. Manor Master, could you please get some servants to freshen her up and then bring her back to me? All right. Gu Shi breathed a sigh of relief. He could finally send this lady away. Me for extra chapters. However, Gu Shi had no idea why this lady refused to leave this dungeon previously, but wanted to leave now when she had seen Feng Ruqing. The lady could not talk. Hence, Gu Shi would never get the answer. Everyone looked suspiciously at Gu Shi when he brought the lady down the hill. Simply no one knew why Gu Shi brought a badly disfigured lady back from the hill. Seeing many disdainful gazes pouring upon her, the lady hid behind Feng Ruqing. Her grubby hand held tightly onto the corner of Feng Ruqing's sleeve. Her eyes were full of anxiety. The lattice reaction was natural as she had not seen any light for years. Not to mention, now, many people were staring at her. If Feng Ruqing was not by the lattice side, the lady would have rushed back to the hill. Gu Shi tasked a servant to freshen up the lady and got Gu Yi to take Feng Ruqing around the chief manor. Manor Master, do you know why the back hill of Tianshan Manor became a forbidden place? Seeing that Gu Shi was about to leave, Feng Ruqing asked after pondering for a while. Qing Han told Feng Ruqing that the lady in the dungeon was not the one who called out to Qing Han. In other words, there was something in the back hill that Feng Ruqing knew nothing about. I have no idea. Gu Shi frowned. I killed the former manor master too soon and did not manage to ask him about this. The dumb lady just now has nothing to do with me. She is here because of the former manor master. I asked her to leave, but she insisted on staying at the back hill. Gu Shi's voice was full of grievances. I was afraid that the people out there would think that I have kidnapped her. Hence, I continued making the back hill a forbidden area. Usually, the guards would guard the foot of the back hill, and no one is allowed to step into it without my company. Fortunately, the lady has left the place. I can finally lift the ban. No, the back hill should remain forbidden and make sure to keep everyone out. Feng Ruqing shook her head. Why? I don't know. I always think there is something that we don't know about on the back hill. The back hill was part of the chief manor. If there was something there, Gu Shi would definitely know it sooner or later. However, Feng Ruqing did not explain further and left Gu Shi guessing. Sure enough, Feng Ruqing's words had left Gu Shi pondering. He was still lost in thought when he left. There must be a reason why all the former manor masters had made the back hill a forbidden place. A reason that Gu Shi did not know of. What could that be? Under the setting sun, Feng Ruqing leaned lazily against the pavilion. Her eyes were fixed on the lady who was walking toward her with a servant. The lady had a fine figure. Her hair was long and straight like a waterfall. Now, she looked refreshing. However, her scar-covered face made her look horrifying. Initially, the lady seemed unsettled. However, when she saw Feng Ruqing, she quickly calmed down. Fortunately, she is still here. What's your name? Feng Ruqing asked, as the corner of her lips lifted. The lady pursed her lips together. Her eyes lit up as she stared at Feng Ruqing. You can't speak? Can I call you Xiaoyuan? Feng Ruqing smiled sweetly. The lattice black eyes shone even brighter as she nodded hastily. Are you sure you want to leave with me? Feng Ruqing got up slowly and walked toward Xiaoya. A look of resolute determination settled in Xiaoya's eyes. Me for extra chapters. I will heal your wounds. You will stay by my side from now on. Feng Ruqing paused. Not only was the lattice face disfigured, but her cultivation was also crippled. Even so, Feng Ruqing could tell the lady lacked talent. However, it did not matter. Feng Ruqing did not need someone with great talent. What she wanted was someone with strong perseverance. Xiaoya merely smiled. As the lattice face was badly disfigured, Her smile was not pleasant to the eyes. However, Feng Ruqing did not expect the lattice smile to be so dazzling under the setting sun. Let's go. I will heal your wounds and restore your crippled meridians. All you need to do is work hard to improve your cultivation. Feng Ruqing looked hard at Xiaoya. Don't you ever forget this? You don't need to be a great talent, but you must work hard to improve your strength. There is neither genius nor fool in this realm. I don't need an arrogant genius. What I truly need is someone who is willing to work hard at cultivation. The lady had followed what she said. She had trodden the path of a warrior and worked harder than everyone else. Currently, she was still telling the lady the same thing. There would be something remaining the way they were no matter how many years had passed. Follow me. Feng Ruqing looked away, walked down the stairs, and strode toward the setting sun. Xiaoya quickly rushed after Feng Ruqing and stared in awe at Feng Ruqing. The lattice eyes were sparkling brighter than the dazzling stars. It's great. God is back. The noble lady is back. Qinghan, are you sure you don't know this lady? Feng Ruqing could feel that someone was watching her from behind. She knitted her brows together as she asked. She is not the one who has called out to me. I really don't know her. Qinghan hesitated for a while, shook her head and answered telepathically. But I could feel that she knows me, just like Big Gray Doggy. The lattice gaze was so sharp and felt like it was burning into Feng Ruqing's back. In the medium, Qinghan bit her finger and tilted her head to look at Fu Chun, who was still sleeping. Fu Chun told Qinghan that Feng Ruqing might be the ninth emperor. However, Qinghan grew up in the herbal garden. She had no idea who was the ninth emperor's acquaintances. Only years after the ninth emperor went missing, both Qinghan and Fu Chun left the herbal garden. Mother, I have no idea. Perhaps Big Black would know. It's Big Gray Doggy, not Big Black, Feng Ruqing said, solemnly, as her face darkened. All right, Mother, Qinghan answered, obediently. Brother Fu Chun said that we could never reason with a lady. Hence, whatever Mother said is right. Just as Feng Ruqing reached the manor, a familiar figure could be seen standing in the breeze with the help of a servant, waiting, quietly, for Feng Ruqing. Feng Ruqing walked past Qin Feier as if she did not see her. Young Lady Feng, I have something to talk to you about. Qin Feier's face darkened. She could not help calling out to Feng Ruqing. Me for extra chapters. I am not close to you. Feng Ruqing's hand that was going to open the door stopped mid-air as her back was still facing Qin Feier. In other words, Feng Ruqing was not close with Qin Feier. Hence, they had nothing to talk about. Don't get sassy with young Lady Qin. The servant snarled. Lucia, wait for me at the side. I have something to discuss with this young lady about. Just as the servant was about to burst with anger, Qin Feier shot her a cold glare as she shouted. But, young Lady Qin, Lucia protested. Qin Feier's face was getting paler. Lucia had gone too far recently. She might have put the Qin family into trouble if she continued behaving like this. I am your master. Just do what I told you. Lucia stared peevishly at the Feng Ruqing. Her eyes flickered. She did not stand aside but left the spot to look for someone else in the Qin family. Young Lady Qin is kind, but this young lady is too vicious. She might hurt young Lady Qin. I must inform Lady Qin. No one could hurt young Lady Qin. The sun was setting. Feng Ruqing tilted her head slightly as she stared calmly at Qin Feier. What do you want to talk to me about? Young Lady Feng, I heard the things that you have said to Tan Shuangshuang. How much do you need to leave Chainer alone? The Qin family could pay you either money or spirit herbs. Qin Feier smiled faintly. I see. Feng Ruqing was still calm and composed. Her voice was soft and gentle. Qin Feier heaved a sigh. It seemed that no one in this world could resist the temptation of money and spirit herbs. Feng Ruqing was no exception. Qin Feier could not help feeling sad, thinking about how Qin Qian had actually fallen for such an awful yet powerful lady. Young Lady Feng, I hope you could keep your words and never look for Chainer again. Chainer is my brother. I could never turn my back on him. You are so stunning. I am sure you can get a great young master besides Chainer. Stop hounding Chainer. Lady Feng. Qin Feier heaved a soft sigh. Suddenly, Qin Feier stopped talking. Qin Feier was standing on the stairs now. A gust of ferocious wind blew like a huge arm pushing Qin Feier, sending her rolling down the stairs. As Qin Feier had poor health, she coughed violently. Her face was ghastly pale. Feier. A sharp voice sounded not far away. Feng Ruqing had bought the manor not far away from the Qin family for convenience's sake. Hence, not long after Lu Xia had left the spot, she had brought Lady Qin, when you hear. Seeing Qin Feier lying on the ground and unable to get up, a fiery rage like fire swept over Wan Yu. Ever since she had given birth to Qin Feier, she could never get pregnant again. That was not all. All the concubines of the Qin family were not capable of getting pregnant for years. Hence, Qin Feier was Wan Ye's only daughter. She was Wan Ye's life. Oh, my dear. When you quickly rushed up to Qin Feier's and helped her to get up. Then, when you turned to look at Feng Ruqing, her eyes reddened with fury. You slut. How dare you lay a hand on Feier? This time, you must pay for the things that you have done even if the manor master stands by you. Me for extra chapters. Mother. Qin Feier held on to Wan Ye's arm, signaling her to stop talking. Then, Qin Feier turned to look at Feng Ruqing. Young Lady Feng, the thing that I have done just now, I have done for both Chainer and you. If you agree to leave Chainer, I would never blame you for the things that you have done. If you refuse, I will tell Chainer all the things that you have done, and it might ruin your reputation. Qin Feier had been holding the grievance for a long time because of Qin Chen. She would never blame Feng Ruqing even if Feng Ruqing laid a hand on her. However, if Feng Ruqing wanted to marry Qin Chen because of the Qin family's strong foothold, Qin Feier simply could not do anything to Feng Ruqing. She could only tell Qin Chen everything that Feng Ruqing had done. Feier, burning with rage, when you shouted. Even now, Qin Feier still wanted to defend Feng Ruqing. Qin Feier was way too kind. Mother, I am all right. Don't worry about me. Could you take it as a favor I'm doing to Chainer? Chainer is part of our family. I don't want him to get hurt. Qin Feier chuckled. Qin Feier had always been having a mind of her own. When you could not do anything to Feng Ruqing, she could only stare at Feng Ruqing with her eyes filled with viciousness. Young Lady Feng, what's your decision? The smile faded from Qin Feier's face. With Wan Ye's help, she slowly walked toward the stairs. Feng Ruqing looked at the stairs that Qin Feier had stepped on subconsciously. Seeing Feng Ruqing's reaction, Qin Feier panicked. She could not help pause. Oh. Feng Ruqing raised her brow and chuckled. I thought you already know my answer from the things that I have done just now. It turns out that the manor lady of the Qin family is such a fool. Startled, color drained from Qin Feier's face. She pursed her lip together. As if being humiliated, her face darkened dramatically. Can't you let go of Chainer? Do you truly want to get into the Qin's family? Initially, Qin Feier had intended to give in. As long as Qin Chen was happy, he could just marry this lady. However, Feng Ruqing had no self-respect for herself and did not care about her own reputation. How could Qin Feier let her own brother dig himself into a hole? She must stop him before he lost his mind. The Qin family had a lofty status in Tianshan Manor. Currently, many people was surrounding the manor not far away from the Qin family, wondering what Lady Wan Yu, with a bunch of people in tow, had done to a young lady. Boom. At this time, a loud bang sounded. Countless vines grew out of the ground like an octopus and lifted Qin Feier high up in the air before throwing her out. In a flash, the manor's tranquility was restored. Wan Yu flew into a great panic. She had never thought that someone would dare to hurt her daughter before her. This time, even if Qin Feier stopped her, she would never let go of Feng Ruqing. Take her down now. Burning with anger, Wan Yu lost her composure. The fire burning in her eyes was so hot it could burn a human alive. Stumbling around, Qin Feier coughed lightly and spat out a mouthful of blood. She looked extremely pathetic, and that made everyone's heart ache. Simply no one cared about who was at fault and why Feng Ruqing had done this to Qin Feier. In general, people were more sympathetic toward the weak. This young lady is so fierce at such a tender age. Who could handle her in the future? I think this fierce young lady might never get married in her whole life. I heard from the young lady Qin that this young lady is hounding young master Qin. Me for extra chapters. Young lady Qin is right. Who wants her own brother to marry such a fierce young lady? This young lady would put the whole Qin family into trouble. Under the setting sun, the street was abuzz with disdainful chatters. It was particularly ear-piercing. The corner of Feng Ruqing's lips lifted subconsciously. Her calm gaze swept past everyone surrounding her. Standing upright, she felt as if she was the only person in this world fighting against everyone on her own. You truly have no idea why I have done this to you? Fearless, Feng Ruqing smiled. You have ruined my reputation. What I have done is just the same as when you asked Luoli to live with her grievance, to save reputation. Everyone on the spot sank into silence. Although not many people in Tianshan Manor could attend the feast at the chief manor, they had heard of Luoli's name. Qin Feier was so kind and gentle, like a saint with holy light emanating out of her, lightening up the whole world. Luoli, on the contrary, was a bratty demon who constantly stirred up trouble. Only the saints could control the demons. Perhaps, Qin Feier was the only one who was capable of handling Luoli. It was right that everything that Qin Feier had done was for the peace and tranquility of Tianshan Manor. Luoli would not be so well-behaved and cordial without Qin Feier. As the saying goes, if you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. Those who achieve great things in life would never be so persnickety. How could a person who could not even control her own emotions command respect from the others? You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.